Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DX Gamer Show. My name is Mike, aka Operation DX, and welcome to episode 14 of PlanetBase. So, I'm sure you're probably wondering why I sound a little bit funny. Perhaps I sound a little bit off. It all depends on what you are watching my videos on. If you're watching my videos on a mobile device, you probably won't really notice the difference, maybe. If you are listening to me on like some nice headphones or good speakers, you're definitely gonna notice the difference here. So, yes, I have purchased a new microphone and finally replaced that old thing that I kind of didn't like. So, my original setup, I had it's not Samsung, it's like a Samsung microphone, and it had this pop filter. It was this big old behemoth thing, and it had to be like right in my face, and I hated it. It just bothered me so much. So I wanted to come up with a different solution. So right now, I'm trying out a Blue Yeti or Yeti Blue. I don't know which comes first. What's the first word in the microphone? I don't know. It just says blue on the microphone. But this one allows me to set it into a mode where I can kind of back off, and I don't really necessarily need a pop filter because I don't have to talk directly at the mic. It just has to be in the vicinity. Now, the only thing is, I'm kind of concerned that it's going to pick up every little teeny tiny sound going off in the room. So we'll just kind of test this out and see how it goes. What's kind of interesting is I've actually kind of switched between two different microphones. I was using I don't even know what it was, but I was using that and the Samsung I don't even know how to pronounce it, and that was pretty much what I was working with, and they sounded really very similar. So the condenser must have been like really, I don't know, almost identical between the two. So every time I swapped them out, I didn't sound different. I did that because I felt like my voice was getting really muffled in the other microphone. Anyways, PlanetBase, right? I've been talking for like 3 minutes already, and I haven't really been addressing PlanetBase. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about stuff that we've pretty much got going on here. So, all right, towards the end of the episode, yes, I built the large dormitory, and I messed up, and a commenter pointed that out, and I'm not going to fix it right away, but I'll fix it later. Very astute, very astute. I did not notice this, but apparently I built a small power collector, and I didn't want to do that. So what I'll probably end up doing is later recycling it and then building a big one. And that should be good to go. That should fix everything. So once we get this large dormitory built, we should almost have a bed for every single colonist in the entire colony. I've been kind of noticing that they've been kind of sleeping at night and then they work during the day kind of thing, kind of like normal people. I don't know. I was kind of thinking what I wanted to have was like a night shift and a day shift, but I don't know. It's just kind of working out this way, I guess. I don't know. All right, so I think we're bringing close to the last piece of the door. Yep, last piece. So we are set. We got a little bit of a sandstorm going on right now, putting some rust in the gears of my Blue Bot. Well, Blue Bot number 3 or 4, I'm not sure which one that actually is. And then once we kind of like slow down a little bit, we're going to start cranking these things out, because I really want to have a lot of bots coming. But yep, like I said in the previous episode, we have a lot to go. So yes, we're building a second dormitory. And in the comments, I was talking about that commenter that was like climbing up my videos, like binge watching them, talking about how I shouldn't waste my time building housing for specific colonists and stuff. But I explained in the previous episode why I wanted to do that, and I think it's going to help with efficiency. So I'm going to go ahead and go forward with that plan, even though I can only fit 7 beds in each of those. I don't foresee it being a major issue.
I don't think that this colony is gonna get like gargantuan, ginormous, like, you know, 300-400 people in it kind of thing. I'm thinking that I'm probably gonna stay relatively small with the workers, and so far it's really been working for me. I mean, we're on episode 13. I've been running half-hour episodes, so I mean, we're knee deep in the game, right? We're just yeah. So I'm thinking I'm gonna stick with a relatively small crew. So I think I'm gonna have like a max of like 3 to 4 oxygen generators, and like depending on how many people come in on the landing pad, the guests and stuff. Yeah, and then if I have raids into my colony and people die, obviously I'll have to replace them, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But I really want to get that starport up, but we're a little ways from that. But yeah, unfortunately, I did build the smaller power collector, and we are kind of right now on the cusp of our power, and I'm building more stuff simultaneously here, so it's all good. Alright, so we got the large dorm up. I think he still has to build the have to build the passage, which he's doing right now. And typically the engineers were building the structure and the corridor all in one go. I don't know why they didn't do it this time, but they didn't. And now I'm gonna be trying to be as efficient as possible, but you know, I don't know if you're like if you put the beds super close together, if it actually allows you to fit like maybe one more. If I spread them out a little more, then maybe it would be just not enough to fit. But I think what happens is, like, noticeably, when you try to place the last bed, there's quite a bit of room left over, so you can actually spread them out a little bit more. We'll see what's going on here. Now, because this is the large dorm, I can fit a lot more. So, yep, exactly. See? So I can actually spread these out just a little bit more, but I like to be, you know, efficient and keep them tight. With the exception of the food processors, it didn't seem to be an issue. I may have jumped the gun on the whole food processor thing, but it just seemed like they weren't working properly in the lab. And once I spread them out, it seemed like everything was working. So I just really can't say for sure if that was the correct move or not. I don't know. I did spread it out so it gave me less room in the biolab, and I'm not sure I'm actually gonna have to build another one unless I really get crazy and have a lot of colonists. But like I said, I want to kind of keep it small. Yeah, I want to grow a little bit. I want to put a second mine in. I want to get enough workers to do that. So I think, you know, 40-50 colonists will be sufficient. We'll see. We'll see. Of course, I have some achievements to get, or milestones to get, in order to be able to move on to the other planets, which I think I've already got enough to move on to the ice planet. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I don't know. That's something, like I said, I'm gonna have to bring up in a channel update video to see if you guys want to see me build yet another colony in PlanetBase, because that's like literally a whole other series, right? I mean, we're like, I mean, it'll probably be a little more efficient now that I understand all this stuff, but I mean, it takes a while to get things done in the game. I mean, especially, I don't know, unless I focus a little better. I mean, I could, like I said, back a while ago, I could put the processing station right next to where the mines are, and I can maybe add a few extra workers. I'm sure there's things I can do to tweak and fidget around to make it a little more efficient. And my layout, obviously, is not the most efficient setup. Alright, so we're kind of breaking off the biodome here, and this is the, well, it's called the crew cabin. I keep calling it crew housing. Essentially, that's what it is, though. So that's exactly why I built this airlock here, because, like I said, I plan for this to be the main infrastructure, main hub of this whole colony. Even though We've got all this stuff going on in the back. We've already built on. We're building the main meat and potatoes here. So like with the rec center and the bar and all that's gonna go in this area. And yeah, I'm gonna see that. Oh, look at the little cute. Look at the cute little power collector. Oh, isn't it? Okay, that was dumb. Yeah, it's not what I intended to do. It's a medium power collector, and it can hold. What is it about? It's more than half, because the big ones hold 12.5, and this one holds 7,500. So it's not so bad. And I think that it will manage my power for now. I gotta be careful though, because when I tear it down and put it back up, I gotta make sure that I haven't built too much stuff, or I may run into a bit of an issue. Alright, so questions for you guys, okay? So ever since I've reinstalled Windows, because right now I'm running Windows 7. Windows 7? Why aren't you running Windows 10? Well, I don't know. I'm kind of like a stickler when it comes to these kind of things. Like, I remember back in the day, like, I didn't want to upgrade to XP, and, you know, I hadn't touched Millennia, because that, Millennium or ME, that was the worst operating system ever. Windows 8, no way, no thank you. It was like a tablet OS. Like, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. Okay, so Windows 10 seems to be like a crossbreed between Windows 8 and Windows 7-ish. Every once in a while, you know, Microsoft, they get it right. But my question to you guys is, should I upgrade to Windows 10? Because I believe right now it's free. I've got this little symbol in the lower right corner of my screen where my clock is, and all my icons are for my network and speakers and all that. And it's like every time I start Windows, it's like, hey, upgrade to Windows 10, blah 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 blah, DirectX 12, blah 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 blah. Yeah, we don't really have any games that utilize DirectX 12, but we will. And I believe DirectX 12 is more efficient. I mean, eventually I'm gonna have to do the upgrade. But my question is, for those of you who actually are running Windows 10, like, how is your gaming experience with, like, just multiple games? Are you running into problems? Are you having to deal with, like, issues? I want to know these things before I, like, pull the trigger. I mean, it's free, and it says that eventually it's going to cost $119, whatever. You know, if if I exceed the period, I'll pay the $119 and upgrade to Windows 10 when that needs. You know, I usually don't like to touch it until there's like at least 2 service packs. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, because it is just what a I don't know. You guys, let me know in the comments. You know, I gotta know these things, because I don't want to upgrade to Windows 10 and just like, ugh, you know, it being a complete mess. And I have no interest whatsoever in installing Windows again. I actually read that installing Windows 10 is a kind of difficult experience. So I don't know. I figured it would be like an easy experience. This is like freaking 2015. We're at the end of 2015, almost 2016, baby. It should be easy. You should like put the disc in and it should just do everything for you, kind of thing. But typically, I don't like to upgrade either. So I'm upgrading from 7 to Windows 10, and I just don't like to upgrade. I like to have like the full OS on the disc, kind of thing. That way, when I do what I've just done recently, I can, you know, just do the install and I don't have to worry about it. Like, I don't want to like install Windows 7 and then upgrade to Windows 10 every freaking time. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. All right, so let's see. Yeah, dormitory's still building, still sidetracking as usual. So let's move on to the next thing I want, like, that's on the brain that I want to talk about. All right, so Star Citizen. Ooh, Star Citizen. Woo! Okay, so the same thing kind of happened to me with Star Citizen that happened to me with Windows. Had to load it twice. And I can't say how much that ticks me off, honestly. Okay, so because like I did the whole computer restructuring, I bought new hardware, obviously, and like I upgraded and all that. So I had to reinstall like some of these things. Fortunately, things like Elite Dangerous, I can straight up back up and like copy them into the right spots and it'll work. But Star Citizen always usually walks out for some reason. So, you know, I bite the bullet and I do the like 32 gigabyte download, right? And it was like the day after, I guess they restructured something in the files and upgraded how the file system worked. And guess what? Another 32 gigabyte download. I cannot stand that. They really need to get on top of that whole thing, because you can't have your backers downloading 30 gigs every single time you do like a major upgrade on your software. That's ridiculous, because for me, you know, my internet's fairly fast, but I have caps. That's 60 gigs of my 250 gig cap. Okay, and like I do YouTube, so like I'm uploading gigabytes upon gigabytes of information every month for YouTube, especially if I do like a video every day of the week. You know, that's like 4 or 5 gigs, you know, every day, minus the weekends. I mean, and sometimes I throw some extra videos up there. And these videos I'm doing now that are longer, like 30-minute videos I'm doing for PlanetBase, they're big files, you know? So it really adds up. So I do not appreciate having to download a 30 gig file twice. Now, it's not all that uncommon to have like close to that in game. I mean, what, like normal AAA games are about that now, what, like 28 gigs, 30 gigs. But what I do, typically I like to buy my games on Steam, and I have a dedicated backup drive that I just back up my games to. So I have like 2 computers, and I back up the game, and then I just install it with the restore function of Steam to my secondary machine, so I'm not using up bandwidth. I try to be smart about it, you know. Maybe I just need to switch to Comcast. But, you know, Comcast is a whole other animal, man. They price gouge the crap out of you. So, like, it seems like with Comcast, your bill goes up every month. Every single month, your bill's like $2 or $3 more. Until you're like, what the F, man? I started off paying this, and now I'm paying this, you know? So, I don't know. But the internet is far, far superior to what I have right now. I'm happy with what I have right now. I think I have like 1 megabyte up and 3 megabytes down or something like that. I don't know. I think that's what I have. That's not like spectacular, but it's enough to do that. I don't know if that's enough to stream. I don't think 1 meg up is fast enough to stream. I've tried streaming before, and people they ask me to do it. They're like, I'll keep, you know, because they really like when I did it, they liked it, you know. So like, do the Twitch thing. But I don't know, man. I'm a YouTuber, right? This is my thing here. I like to do this better. I can control this more than controlling Twitch, and then you have to worry about monitoring chat and all that. And you guys can say mean things to me in the comments in YouTube. That's fine, but you know. I see that later, and I can just ignore it. It's like, hey, you suck, Operation Dick, you suck. That's cool. I know, I do suck. Alright, okay, anyways. Flip back gears here real quick. PlanetBase. That is the game we're playing. We're not playing AT&T the game, and we're not playing Windows 10 the game. We're playing PlanetBase. Alright, so, this is kind of what I had in mind here, but not exactly. I was actually kind of thinking about having the canteen off of the small cargo bay and then putting a large cargo bay behind that, but this is just kind of how it worked out. So we're building the large canteen now. So this gives me a lot of options for happiness and all that, so I can put up some TVs. And actually, one of the recommendations in the comments was don't build too many food processors, which I haven't done that anyways, so that's not such a big issue. But I'm gonna probably put a couple in there, because you can see that right now I have the one food processor, and I think I can have a max of like 5 meals sitting in that thing. I'm not so comfortable with that, with how many colonists I have. I want to have like 15, 20 meals ready to go, ready to eat. And that's also going to come into play when I start letting visitors come in. There needs to be some extra meals. Now, the only problem is if the colonists, or not the colonists, but the guests that come in go to my smaller canteen and not the new canteen, then they're actually going to be walking around for a little while, but it's not such a big deal. Maybe there's something in the smaller canteen that they'll want more than in the big canteen. I don't know. The idea is diversity, though. So in the biodome, I'm really going to focus on stuff that I have not put up yet. I know, I keep looking at the little dinky tiny power collector. I'm like, oh, look at that little thing. And I'm like thinking, I got to tear that stupid thing down. So I'm like, right now I'm kind of debating, should I tear it down or should I let the canteen get built? I've been doing a lot of this build 2 structures at once kind of thing, which, like I said, it's not such a great idea because it lowers the bioplastics for things that are needed in other areas and in metal. So we're doing okay, I guess, on spares. We do have 3 large solar arrays. We got rid of that wind turbine, thank goodness, because that wasn't really doing us much good anyways. And then we got 10 med kits, so that's perfect. That's what I set it at. So it's, with my 3 medics, that is maintaining. So we'll see how that all goes along after I start letting some additional workers in my colony. I need more engineers and I need more workers. I don't think I need, and I'm probably going to have to let a couple more biologists in, but not like a ton, to maintain the new biodome. So yep. I can't wait to build some additional processing machines and all that. It's gonna help so much. Now, I think someone had mentioned that I can build like a bajillion robots and it doesn't matter. People still carry stuff around, so that makes me sad. Like a sad face, right? Because I want to build a bajillion robots anyways. So we'll have a bunch of robots. I definitely want to get those mining ones though, because I feel like once I get those mining ones, the second mine isn't going to be like all that necessary, critical, like importante, right? Because I think they're a lot more efficient. But if I have 6 bots and 2 mines, woo! We're gonna be swinging, baby. There's gonna be so much extra material that I'm gonna have to build like a whole nother cargo bay for just the mining material until it can get actually processed. Might even have to build a second processing station. Maybe, if the AI gets worked out a little bit, because the workers, they're always wandering, always doing their own thing. All right, man, we are moving along, getting stuff done during this episode. All right, so the large canteen is being built, and yeah, I think normally I was gonna revert back to the whole 15-minute length episodes, but I think 30 minutes is just perfect for this series. I mean, it really hasn't been such a big issue, and the reason why is you guys don't seem to mind me just going off into other areas of topic. Now, there are areas that I definitely will not touch, but gaming-related stuff, software-related stuff, I'll talk about all day long. I love that stuff. You know I like games. I'm a big gamer guy, so I can go off in a bajillion different directions. And then, of course,
I love to talk about some of the interesting comments and stuff that you guys lay down. I know I don't get to all of them, and sometimes like I'm like, oh shoot, man, I wanted to talk about that comment. It was so fantastic, and I just don't get around to it. That's why if I have enough time before I start working on the video, I'll go through the comments and I'll write some stuff down to make sure that I talk about it. And also, I'm getting used to these longer episodes, so I'm sure that some of you that like these 30-minute episodes, I may actually switch to that format for future Let's Plays. I don't know. Some games do better with the 15 minutes. Some games better do with a 30-minute. I mean, this game definitely, you have to have longer episodes because like nothing would ever get done throughout the week. And this series would just go on and on and on and on, and I definitely want to get to some other stuff. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the new hardware. My computer is nice and fast now. It's fantastic. I was starting to get concerned because my computer was really aging badly, but just buckling down, trying to save as much money as possible. Got myself a GTX 980 Ti, and wow, incredible card compared to what I had. I had a GTX 770 before, and this thing is just eating everything for breakfast. The frame rates are so high, I can't believe it. And then I got a M7 MSI gaming motherboard. It's got this like red and black scheme to it. I really like it. And that's also DDR5, and I finally got a i7 processor because with video and doing all this video encoding, I was using an i5 and it took like 3 hours to process a 30-minute video. Now it's like so much faster. It just makes life so much easier. All right, and I'm going to leave you guys with one more additional question on top of the Windows 10 thing. Alright, so if you were going, because I haven't upgraded a console in a really long time. If you were going to go and pick up a brand new console today, and I'm talking about an Xbox One or PS4, which one would it be and why would you do it? Is there a particular game that you want to play? Because, you know, with the Xbox One, I'm thinking like Forza Horizon 2 looks really cool, but with the PS4, No Man's Sky is an exclusive for a little while, so that's kind of interesting. I'm not saying I'm gonna pick up a new console. I'm just kind of, it's like in the back of my head, kind of thinking about it, because I've always had a console. I mean, I've got both the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. But I have not upgraded to the newer consoles yet, so the main reason why is because I've been in pretty much budget crisis pretty much this entire year, and I think I've done pretty decent with the channel considering the fact that I've been in budget crisis. So, you know, I'm starting to come out of that a little bit, so yeah, let me know what you think. You know, I'm not really necessarily gonna pull the trigger on these kind of things, but I like to know where you guys are at. What are you playing now? What do you think's fun if you're on the console, that kind of thing? Or if you're only a PC gamers, then, well, this isn't gonna help. Alright, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great day and take care.